Welcome to Afterwards. If you're new here, my name is Ari. I come in 3 flavors: real, raw, and ridiculous. Oh, what's this? What's this? Okay, what is this? Sagittarius and Ceres. Okay, so somebody's growing in their knowledge and what they know. Why am I saying growing in your knowledge? So Ceres is like when you're like when an abundance is coming in, right? And then Sagittarius affiliated with the Jupiter expansion, so that's growth. So I don't know, it's almost like you have unlimited potential, like whatever you can think of, wherever you see yourself going, like you're not even ready for, like, your mind's about to be blown. That's really what I hear. Your mind is about to be blown because it's one of those, like, you know, you have the faith, you have the works, you have the determination, the consistency, and you have the energy attached to whatever it is you're doing. Okay, I don't know you, I don't know your life, I don't know what you are or not building, but I get the impression that this is you building upon something, right? Only because you hit Sagittarius, right? So again, once you pass up Libra, so remember, like when you start with Aries, that's like being born, right? Then you get to Taurus, and that's discovering values, right? Then you get to Gemini, and that's learning how to communicate. And then you get to Cancer, and it's learning how to be relational, right? Because that's family. Then you get to Leo, and it's really a combination of coming into who you are, the self, ego, Aries, right? Discovering your values, right? Taurus, stability, what are you going after? 3, communication, like, okay, do I mirror people or do people mirror me? Like, you know, what is this thing I'm in my mind about? 4, Cancer, right? Relationship with others and self and family and, you know, just bigger groups. Like, am I finding the people that I resonate with, right? Because Cancer is also a water sign. And then you get to 5th house, right? And that's your personality. How do you show up? What is the thing about your presence that's noticeable, right? Okay, now, all of that is South Node shit, right? That's all that shit you learn, that classical conditioning, right? All that stuff you're learning when you're kind of unconscious because it's very much self-driven, right? And then you hit the Libra, right? And that's when this scale shift occurs, right? So like you're starting to go the opposite direction, where it was all about you growing into self and figuring these things out. You got to Libra, and now it's almost like a karmic reset, right? Like literally a reset, striking new balance, right? So now you're going from Libra to, oh no, you got to go to Virgo, right? So Leo, then Virgo, right? It's a hermit mode, right? Really being in self. And then we get to Libra. Yeah, I don't know why this is important, but somebody needs to hear this. Now you're going to hit all your North Node shit. Here's the irony about the North Node shit, which is why you need to know polarities, right? So if you're an Aries sun, your polarity is that of a Libra, right? Libra is balance. You will always be seeking to find the balance and shit, because when you're in your South Node, you were very self-focused, self-driven, right? You probably even did that shit when it came to like values, right? Like self wasn't very present, right? You wouldn't put self first, but you always were trying to figure self out. Does that make sense? Okay, because there's 2 sides to look at it. Taurus, values, finance, didn't place a lot of value on financial matters, right? Like it was just kind of like money came to you easily, naturally, right? But like the thing that escapes you is the beauty of having the fucking funds. Oh, the irony of how this shit works, right? Then you've got Gemini, right? Communication, lovers. You seem to be in these relationships where you learn more in the sexual activity than you learn in the actual data. It's like you're always learning about them, but it's like you never fucking knew the person, man. You're not communicating. Then you get to 4, Cancer, relational, right? You just don't fit into the family because you're so emotional, and the family is like not like you. They don't honor your emotions. Okay, so that's all that South Node shit. All right, then you get your sibling interactions were fucking rough. Your siblings saw you. Them was not trying to hype you up. They're trying to humble you, right? So that gave you this unique personality, right? You stay with me here. All right, then you get into Virgo, right? Hermit mode. You turn out to be a hyper analytical person, extremely self-conscious, right? You had to go and live through all of that in the South Node, right? You wrestled with all of that. You had to make sense of all of that. This is so good. So you get through all of that. Then you get to Libra and you're like, ah! You need to get back in balance with yourself. You need to restore this healthy sense of self. So now you're hitting that North Node because you've done all the South Node shit. So you go from Libra to Scorpio. Transformations and undergoing significant transformations. Like, it's like the universe will throw these towers at you to wake you the fuck up, right? Like, you need to understand who you are now. We let you live through some things. We allowed you to feel some shit. Scorpio placements. Where's the Scorpio in your birth chart? Because they let you feel some shit, okay? They let you feel it so you could heal it, okay? Then after, like, so you just go, it gets more intense once you hit that Libra, okay? So, because all things North Node require you to fucking work, okay? It all requires work. If you're gonna be in your North Node, you gotta understand you're gonna work. Now that South Node, you're not really working because it's unconscious. So you went from classical conditioning, things you're just responding to, you don't know why, you don't know how, you're just doing it, to more operant conditioning shit. Like, this is not how I'm trying to show up, right? When you decided, okay, let me participate in my life. Let me see, how do I balance out the scales? Like I didn't ask for none of that shit, right? From Aries on through Virgo. You didn't ask for any of that. But that is the experience that you had because you were unconscious that you could get involved. Now, you're consciously involved and you're like, God damn, right? Started working on your sex appeal, started working on your drip, started working on whatever it is the fuck you ooze out, right? Started working on your own psychology, probably got a therapist for the first time in a long time, probably discovered, okay, that isn't really what's gonna work for me. I need to re-examine what works for me. But then it's like every time you think you done grab one thing, tower moment, another thing happens, right? Because to remember, it comes with a lot. Remember how I just worked you through all of those lights? So you get to Libra, you hit that Scorpio transition. You're about to experience everything that you just went through in those first 6 houses, right? Like the finance, communication, beauty. Scorpio's got a lot of sex appeal, death, taxes, rebirth, right? Communication, lovers, right? Sex, taxes, rebirth. This is why it's important to know these things, right? Like, if you really care about whatever it is, whoever it is you're supposed to be in this lifetime or do in this lifetime, okay? So you go through all of that. You have to get through all that scorpionic transitioning shit. You have to get through it, because once you're done making it through all of the shit that's supposed to, like, it's supposed to wake you up to shit, but it also has to humble you, right? So it's a hype and a humble moment, right? That Libra, finding the balance. When you hit that Scorpio, there's your hype and your humble, right? Like, yeah, you went through a bunch of shit, but also unconsciously you were contributing to that shit, okay? Now it's like, now you got to get your shit together, but you will forever be getting your shit together, okay? Because you have to heal from whatever it was that you used to feel that you didn't know how to address, right? So now you're recognizing, if we go backwards on that Libra, right? Like going backwards from Libra, you can no longer stay in hermit mode because you done learn some shit you might want to shut out with others, right? Right, so that's building, right? Then what's before Virgo, right? Leo, right? You probably didn't think too much of your personality based on your sibling interactions, because the way them came with you was like you wasn't that bitch, but your personality turns out to be doper than all of this, right? You have this dope ass personality. People want to rock with you. You just got to learn to rock with you. You got to accept it, right? Because your siblings almost made you feel like you couldn't. Then we're going to go to Cancer, right? Home is where the heart is, right? Well, no love. So it felt like, right? It was just kind of like, I don't know really how to interact with these people. These people don't really know how to interact with me. So you learn really how to have boundaries and how to be healthy about those boundaries to protect your peace. Okay, then let's go back one more. Gemini, communication, lovers. You have really figured out, I need to start telling you what I do and don't like, because really, whoever I end up with, like, I need to know that we can talk until the fucking sun comes up, right? Or the sun goes down. But we can have serious conversations, but it can also, I can feel like you're my best friend. I don't know. Some people like I want you to be like my, I don't like the idea of like sleeping with my brother. It's weird to me. I know how people mean it, but it's still just like, yeah, I want you to feel like family, but not like that. It's just me. I'm working on it. Right. I used to work with foster care kids, right? So, and maximum security prisoners, right? So it's certain things that are just like language, framing, all that matters. Going back now, finances, value, beauty, right? You are a prized possession. You know it. He know it. Okay. You make the investment. Okay. Because beforehand, you didn't even recognize those things, right? You didn't see the value in it. You didn't understand the financial pieces of it, but now you like, yo, since I'm over here hanging out in this 8th house Scorpio shit, I probably should get my life together and figure out what the fuck is going on, right? So then you like, it's almost like you're stepping back into who you truly are, right? Because Aries is about healthy ego, but you didn't have that when you first started off, right? You just kind of had little chunks of shit and you had to work through all of that. Then you had to come to the big picture. So, okay, lessons are all learned in 8th house Scorpio, right? Making all those things that were hidden now come to the surface. You're dealing with them, and then you hit, boom, Sagittarius. Okay, that's another level. That's a whole new level. Travel, philosophy, religion, culture, higher education. Okay, wow, your worldview has expanded. You have learned so much in such a little amount of time. Even though you feel like you've lived through a lot of shit, you're only just now starting to remember half of these things because you're healing it, right? How do I know you're healing it? Because, see, when we got to that Libra, balance, partnership, relationships, you had to really look at yourself and how you were showing up. See, if we went back to that Aries, that's physicality too. You started working out, you started going to the gym, you started feeding your mind, you started thinking about the things you've lived through and all the possible responses you could have had versus the ones you actually had. And then you started to take shit serious. You started to recognize that, like, you could amass anything in this world if you just take it a little bit more seriously. Cool. So you do that. Not only do you take it more seriously, you take that shit to the next level. How do I know? Because after you hit Sagittarius, you hit that Aquarius. Okay. No, you hit that Capricorn. Okay. Capricorns are hard workers. They take shit seriously. Okay. Now you understand what I say. You, me, and the North Node, you're going to be fucking working. You're going to work if you're in your North Node. You're not going to show up and the universe is going to be like, okay, yeah, you made it. You're going to be like, okay, you're here. What got you here won't keep you here. You better get your ass to work. What are you doing? Okay, look, we reset the karmic balance for you. You said you wanted to be X, Y, and Z. So, hey, we said heal that shit and we're going to let you be. You healed it. So you thought, then you got to that 10th house Capricorn and you're like, oh, this is hurting me. I don't want to work that hard. Okay, why don't you want to work that hard? Is it because the thing that you're doing isn't really the thing that aligns with your values? See, now look how you got to go back into that scorpionic energy, right? You got to look at them towers they were throwing at you while you were healing all of that shit, and you have to recognize, uh-oh, let me look at my 2nd house. What do I value and what are my finances attached to? Because, see, when you figure that out, your career is much more solid. Not only is it solid, it's some shit you know, Sagittarius, right? Not only is it some shit you know, it's some shit you could build upon, right? Like, because you hit a certain mark, you gotta, pace yourself, right? I told y'all one of these posts somewhere out here, not in this video, probably an Instagram post, right? Conditioning season is over. It's almost about to be time for you to perform. You're gonna have to show up. Then we get to Aquarius, right? Oh, I told you, it's almost over. You're gonna have to perform. Aquarius involves larger audiences and the masses. You said you wanted to be somebody, so they said, okay, let's see. See, you're not actually moving through the zodiac signs correctly. Some of you, you're just like, it's my energy. It has nothing to fucking do with that. It's about how you renew yourself when your opportunity presents. And you'll have to know that all of these energies carry a certain vibration, but if we're going to take you to who you're supposed to be to fulfill your destiny in this lifetime, then you're gonna have to move through all of those flawlessly. And you're gonna have to know at what stage do you need to go back to any one of them, because it is possible, right? How do I know it's possible? Because once you get to Aquarius and you're doing all things innovation, all things society, collective information, you get to Pisces, your psychological undoing. You're not even the same person you used to be. And now you have to get up and go through that every day again, right? Because your North Node requires you to work. So if you're stepping into your North Node, get your ass up and get to work. Like, no one's going to see you as this thing you say you are until you actually become that thing you say you are. So you have to work really hard at that. Or if you recognize you're not even shitting, you should just get off the pot. Because you're kind of holding up the line. You know, there are people out there who want to be inspired, who want a person of integrity to lead them, who want to know that a person is who they say they are, right? People want really somebody that they admire, showing them the ropes. But they don't know that every day you have to do that for yourself. That every day you have got to recognize how far you've come. Even if it means that sometimes you have to really review how far you've come to stay on track. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope that was helpful to you. Seems like a long random rant, but it truly, honestly was not. I was supposed to read the cards, but for some reason that was the message. And that's the message we're going to stick with. I'm going to pull a selfies and be done with this today because I got a lot of shit to do. I'm sure everybody has a lot of shit to do. I just don't be knowing people who be having half as much of the shit I have to do and be like, how the fuck does this keep happening to me? I'm making these dumbass schedules for myself. Like, okay, come on, give me a card. Give me a card. Give me one card. Okay. Screw them. Make a move. All right. Whoever you are, wherever you are. Again, whatever you told yourself when you were younger, last week, 3 days ago, this morning, whatever you told yourself you wanted to be, whoever you wanted to become, now it's time to do it. Like, seriously. You know, I mean, all people can do is ask, how's it going? Either you're doing it or you're not. But, you know, we all get to that point in life where we realize we don't want to just be talking. We want to be doing. So ask yourself, are you doing what you're talking? Are you really built like that? Or you just like to say it until it becomes reality? Because as we say over here, self-esteem is a practice. It's not an affirmation. Literally, we started with the first house, Aries. You have to build your self-esteem, right? You got to build all that. Then when you hit that 7th house, Libra energy, right? And the karmic restoration, the balance, the equality, the coming back into self occurs. You got to understand what that takes. What is that going to take? Because if you don't know what that's going to take, then hey, every day you about to put in sweat, blood, and tears until you can answer that question, right? Until you can be that thing. It's great that people see these things in you, but remember, only you know who you really are. At least I hope you know who you really are, you know, because if other people can tell you who you are, then the question becomes, how susceptible to others' opinions of you are you? Because if anybody can persuade you, then we got a whole nother challenge to work on, right? Because if you say you're going to be X, Y, and Z, then hey, your mind has to be made up about that, and that's what you move towards, and don't let no one sway you. Okay. I'm really leaving now because not every therapist is a healer. Not every healer is a clinician, and not every clinician will minister to your soul. You can book your session at tactfuldisruption.co.